These really are frank, rather blunt assessments of many of the world's top officials and reveal some pretty interesting details of conversations between the United States and various governments on issues ranging from the transfer of Guantanamo Bay detainees to the future of North Korea to Iran's nuclear ambitions and some pretty personal attacks or assessments of, like I said, the world's top leaders, including the French president, the German chancellor, and Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin. But Hillary Clinton, as she heads overseas to meetings in Central Asia and the Middle East, making clear she thinks this will not have a long-term impact. That remains to be seen. I think it will be interesting to see in the coming days whether or not the world's diplomats turn their backs on the Americans or perhaps don't share as many details as they used to.
Let's talk more about some of the revelations for a moment, because we heard, for example, that China would accept a reunited North and South Korea. Is this significant?
Yeah, that is one of the big details coming out of the second day of reports. The New York Times reporting that China had basically said they were okay with the thought of a reunified Korea if the U.S. didn't move its troops north of the demilitarized zone, where that border between North and South Korea currently is. If that's the case, certainly that is significant. But remember that the U.S. and other countries have sort of gamed out the future of North Korea in the past. As the report notes, that back in 1994, it was believed that when Kim Jong-il took power, at some point soon the North Korean state would collapse, and that hasn't happened. One of the other interesting details that is revealed in the second day of reporting is the lengths to which the United States has gone to try to convince other countries to take detainees from Guantanamo Bay, talking up countries like Yemen, Slovenia, and other Central European allies, suggesting that if they were to take more allies, their stature in the world might increase, there might be financial incentives, and they might get more face time with American officials. This began during the Bush administration, it continues during the Obama administration, and while President Obama earned a lot of credit for calling for the closure of Guantanamo Bay, he obviously missed his self-imposed deadline and appears in some of these cables to have been quite eager to shed the Gitmo's prison population as much as possible, in some cases succeeding, in other cases certainly not.